Okay, so what movies, of these superhero movies that have been out in the last several years have you really liked? Are there any that stand out for you?
I wanted to jump up and applaud again Thor. I love Thor.
Surprised me.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was.
Yeah.
What else?
X-Men First Class?
Didn't see it.
Oh, yeah. You should.
I'll see X-Men First Class. I tell you, I loved X-Men 2, except for the ending where she says, everyone get in, I'll hold off the lake. And he said, well, you get in.
Why don't you get in and hold off the lake?
So, I'm thinking, it's tough. I mean, it's kind of sad when all these huge superhero movies, and I just keep going back to the Pixar things, you know, because you can trust them. You can trust Pixar to give you something.
Did you enjoy The Incredibles?
Oh, yeah. The scene in The Incredibles where she's stretched between 3 different, like, doorways and elevators. It's just brilliant. How do you think of that? How do you think of that? Yeah, that was pretty great. And it's cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
Yeah.
I love surprise, huh? Did not expect that movie to be great.
I thought it'd be terrible, but his invention where the remote as the TV comes over to him so he can turn it on. And then it runs out into the street, you know? That's pretty great.
So what else? What else are you loving right now?
Haven't seen a lot. I can't wait for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Do you think he's going to be able to deliver that?
Oh yes, Daniel Craig. And I see that trailer and I don't even think it's Daniel Craig. I just go, that's the kind of movie I want to see. I don't look at the stars, I don't look at anything. I look at the shape of it and it just looks like a perfect thriller from 1975. And that's what I want to see.
Cool. Should we open it up here? Or you got any question for Shane? Right here.
Yo.
Is Iron Man 3 going to take place at Christmas?
I asked him that just a few minutes ago.
Why do you ask?
Yeah.
Because all of his other movies.
movies take place at Christmas.
You know, it's negotiable. I wouldn't rule it out.
What is it about Christmas that this theme that you keep coming back to? Because you've done it in several of your movies now.
Presents.
My son died at Christmas.
No, I'm kidding. That was good. That would have been a great one.
Here's a reversal. Man, my son died. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the happy moment.
So Christmas just seems to me to be this time that invokes an escapism and a power and a weight that transcends the years in the political administration, and it seems forever to speak to the America I grew up in, where Christmas represented the best of it, and it still does, I think. It's still the time when there's peace towards men. It's still the time when people have the wherewithal to put out their hand to other men. We're so divisive now in this country, and it's just so awful. And I would just love to see. I'd love to see Christmas all year round.
Right here.
I had a question. Since you mentioned you love practical effects, are you looking at movies of like The Amazing Spider-Man, which is going back to a more practical method of showing him there's a lot more stunt work, there's a lot more physicality? Or are you going to take that and like kind of view that as kind of a template for Iron Man in terms of practical stuff now?
Yeah, I like practical stuff, and the problem is you can't tell the difference these days between a practical Iron Man and a CGI Iron Man, really. You can tell when they move around and do stuff in a room, but if it's just him walking or flying, you can't tell the difference. So I remember they said to me at one point, you know in Iron Man 1 and 2 that as soon as that mask closes, there's no actor anymore. I said, really? They go, yep, it's CGI. And then I would see pictures of this guy in a green frog suit, little motion capture things on him, like crawling out of a ditch. And then it cuts to Iron Man with a burned off faceplate crawling out. And it's impeccable. but it's a guy in a green frog suit. I mean, and that's why these movies are so hard. You don't know until like 2 weeks before they come out what they're going to look like. Because until 2 weeks before they come out, like they're in the middle of the climactic battle and a guy in a frog suit with a tennis racket goes like this. And it's going to look good, I guess, but you don't know.
How much of that are you going to make Robert Downey do himself?
Yeah.
No, Downey's good with the frog suit. The problem with the costume is it takes so long to put on.
Yeah.
It takes so long, and it's inconvenient. And if you're going to do a CGI effect, I will say this, and it's not giving anything away. When you see Downey as Iron Man from here up, you know, he's not wearing the bottom of the Iron Man suit. He's wearing the half suit that day. He could be in his boxers because that would be too much. It's just too much. It takes too much time. It's uncomfortable and unwieldy for the actor. But the goal is to make it as comfortable as possible while still preserving the reality. You know, you can't compromise the illusion of an actual physical creature in the room. But there's endless stuntmen. Once that plate goes down, you know, you just don't have to use Robert anymore. There's not a lot of acting in that job, and so I'm thrilled to have some of the best stunt people too. You know, and also it's kind of weird. The real costume sometimes looks faker than the CGI one in a way. It's clunky. It's made of plastic. And you can see sometimes that it just doesn't move quite perfectly, and they have to go back and enhance it anyhow.
How intimidating was it for you to do Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? Because I know it's the first time directing something you wrote. And also, the second part of that is, did you choose to get Robert McGinnis to do the paperback covers? Was that your choice?
Yeah, I love McGinnis.
Yeah.
It was very intimidating, there's a great deal to be accomplished when you have nothing to lose, you know. At that point, I've been trying to get that movie made forever. And when someone agreed to take a shot at it, take a chance on it. And then here come Robert Downey and Val Kilmer, and everyone's telling me, just give up. Those two are the worst fucking nightmare. And so, yeah, it was intimidating. I walked on the set, and all I knew is nightmare. And they behaved, you know. They did. Even David Caruso behaved in the first season of CSI. They said, "You're never going to work in TV again." And so I know, well, you want this show, you better goddamn behave. Okay, I will, I promise. He does, the show's a hit, fuck you now.
And now it's all about him and his sunglasses.
Yes.
Take them off, take them off.
But you know something? David Caruso is a great actor, who is, I believe, is probably just a tormented guy. Let's not underestimate how tormented everyone is.
I need my pay.
Somebody post that on Facebook.
No, but it's easy to say that actors are this or actors are that, but they're really, you know, they've got demons in them. That's part of it. That's part of why they're great. Yeah.
This sort of leads into something you alluded to earlier. You said that you were, kind of fell off the map or whatever, and you would talk about that if there was time. Do you care to sort of talk about it?
Real briefly, sure. I had sold a script. I wrote this thing called Long Kiss Goodnight, and I had sold it for a record sum of money. And boy, people didn't like that. They did not like that at all. I got the equivalent of hate mail. Like, you hack, you took $4 million for this blood-soaked, spattered piece of crap, escapist nonsense. How dare you get $4 million for that? So, okay, Bill, I get it. You're a reviewer. I know if you'd been offered the money, you would have turned it down. So I hear your outrage. But the truth is, I took the money because it was offered to me. And then it got so bad, a friend of mine, Dale Launer, said, you want to be in the Motion Picture Academy? I said, the Academy? Sure, you vote for the Oscars. That sounds like fun. I'd love to vote for the Oscars. So he said, I'll sponsor you in. The criteria for inclusion in the Motion Picture Academy is 2 produced works of substantive merit. Okay, and I had 7 or 8 at that time. And they came back to me and said, Mr. Blac, you unfortunately don't meet our requirements, but you're always free to apply again at a future date. Sorry. And they wouldn't let me in the Academy. And the guy who wrote, like, "She's Gone Crazy" was in the Academy. You know, that was all that he did. That and like an episode of, you know, The Ant People.
Substantive work.
And so I said, okay, I get it. They don't like me. They think I'm, because isn't it true that they just think a certain way? They don't see me as the tormented person. They don't see me as an artist. They think I'm the guy who's typing like this, going, ho, 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 I'm making money now. And then I rip it on the typewriter and I go, hey, artist, woo, look at this money. That's what they think. So I got it, and I really just wanted to tell my little stories. I really wanted to just explore and do that. And so I backed out, and I said, I don't want to be in the spotlight. I really would not like to do this. I would really like to write a small movie. And then I just sort of subtracted myself from civilization to some extent. Got together with a bunch of friends of mine for a few years, like Swingers, that movie. We sort of drove around Hollywood and went to various places and parties. Yeah. And so.
Oh, wait, sorry. Are you done?
Oh, no, that's okay. It's just you know, it went downhill from there.
Are you still planning to make a Death Note movie?
I'm planning to, yeah. We have a script.
What movie?
What,
Death Note.
I'm just curious, like, what are you thinking about? I mean, it seems like such a difficult idea to make accessible to a big American audience.
All right, well, Death Note, here's the thing about Death Note. It's a Japanese manga about a demon who leaves a notebook, and a high school student discovers it. And whoever name you write, basically, in the Death Note book, dies within 40 seconds. And it's pretty compelling, because based on that simple principle, then they use every permutation and possibility of that premise that you can ever imagine. The problem is Hollywood is scared of it. They spent all this time acquiring the rights, and the first thing they did was say, well, you know, lose the demon, just make it a kid,
Make it a dog.
and you don't want the kid to normally just be kind of evil, so maybe we show that when he was a kid, something horrible happened to him, and then when he gets the book, you know, like, I think they just kept qualifying it until it ceased to exist. So I said, I'll do it, but you keep the demon. The book doesn't seduce the kid and brainwash him with electric waves. He becomes that person that he's always had inside, which is the evil that's in all of us. It's about that. It's about the creation of a villain. You know, it's about a descent into madness, this downward spiral. It's not about a hypnotic book that just takes over kids electrically, and there's no demon. Of course, it's a fucking demon that's sold in 34 million copies around the world. That's 3 times what Twilight sold, because the demon, and they don't want it. They say, well, it didn't sell that in America. It's like, well, of course it didn't sell that in America. It's in Japanese. Try translating it and see what happens. So, anyway, yeah, demon, all that stuff. It's all included now, and I'm excited to do it. I think it could be a lot of fun. Yes, sir, in the red.
Is Jon Favreau going to be Happy Hogan?
I have asked that John return as Happy Hogan. The exact circumstances of what that scene will be, or those scenes will be, we're still having some fun with. Because I love him as an actor, is the thing. I mean, he's a good director, he's a great director, but I love him as an actor. And he, every once in a while now, will just sort of show up as an actor and things like, I love you, man. Like, no, John, more, please, you know, act more. So I hope we use him. I hope that we find something good enough to substantiate his talent.